You will find people who are in the technical vocational area, what you might like to call the common man. You will find people who might have served before, who we think can bring some experience across once they are willing to work with us and not sabotage the requirements of the executive. We will be willing to work with you. Board appointments are truly to bring across the mandate of the executive. And of course, will more than likely be people who support the vision of the party in power. That goes without saying. And so naturally the majority of people you will see on boards will be people who look like a Spartan and act like a Spartan. And that's because they share the same vision that we have. They supported this vision and they are willing to work towards getting this vision done. But if you observe from the board appointments, you will see a sprinkling of people who you may not consider to be diehards of the party I represent, but who are people that the executive thinks can be professional and can bring quality service and transference of knowledge to the board, and that allows for a healthy balance. And so certainly this executive cannot be considered to be involved in nepotism the way you know it, even when it comes to board appointments where perhaps the law and ethically we are allowed so to do. And so I hope I've been able to quite extensively address how we think through boards, how boards work, the fact that line secretaries, sit diligently, try to think of who should be on boards. They come to the executive might remove some names, add some names, might just agree as is. The executive will question the competencies of all the individuals on the boards and that kind of thing. And we place people accordingly. There are still several boards that are being built out, still several boards. I have seen things being WhatsApped to me with names. I'm not sure where getting those from, and I'm not sure how you know for sure those people are on the boards you think they are on. But there's no need for speculation, because as you have seen, we have been telling you exactly who we're putting on the boards. And we have been opening it up for conversation across the board for everyone, because it's about a new age of transparent governance. And so Dr. James has consented to assisting us across at the Venture Capital Fund Limited. We will find his replacement by next week, Tuesday, on the study part board. And let me say this, the only reason why we're making the shift is because the secretary responsible ultimately for the Study Park Enterprise Limited is his brother. It does not mean that you won't see relatives of executive council members on boards elsewhere. We will just not have our relatives on the same board that we might have some control over as a rule going forward. But we thank you, we heard you, we listened to all sides of the argument. The Executive Council diligently reviewed it. I reviewed it several times, I slept on it several times, and we took our time in making this decision. And let me say this, this board, this Pell board, is actually there for only 1 year, not for the duration of the Executive Council, because the core responsibility given to this...
Right. I think the gist of what I wanted you to hear was heard, right? He said quite a lot of things there, right? Yeah. You know, one of the things that struck me is the fact that the United National Congress, who seem to be the de facto defenders of proper governance, and always like to talk about what they perceive to be PNM nepotism and so on, right? They have nothing to say on this. And you heard Fali say there that in the future, you can expect to see relatives of secretaries serving on boards. The only difference is that they will not be serving on boards that for which their relative is the line secretary. So don't be surprised if in the future you see Fali's relative serving on a board that falls under Terence Bean, or perhaps a relative of Zorisha Hackett serving on a board that falls under Terence James, or as the case may be, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. Let me define for Fali what nepotism means, because apparently he seems to be having a bit of difficulty, yeah? And you also heard him there talk about, nobody in talking about the fact that under the last administration you had Hona women serving on boards, right? I guess there weren't any Hona men serving on boards. There's only Hona women, right, Fali? And that's a proper term for you to use. That is the language of, according to my friend from New Jersey, transformational leader. Yes? That's how a transformational leader speaks. Talking about Hona women. So, all right, so if you knew there were Hona women serving on boards before, why didn't you speak about it then, Fali? Why didn't you make an issue of it? You see, the people of Tobago who supported the PDP talked about they wanted change and they want a difference, and they're fed up at the PNM and the PNM this and the PNM that. Fali come and tell her, well, yeah, what now? Well, I have a problem with Winford, all right. The only problem we have with Winford, and we hear you. So he starts off by saying, we make a mistake, but it's not a mistake. Right, because the man qualified. And in fact, he's now the new board that he's going to be put on, this venture capital board, is better suited for him than the spell board. Right? So thank God, the people of Tobago and some people of Tobago and some people in Trinidad made an issue of Mr. James's appointment to a board under his brother, such that he was now able to be put on this other board where he would perform much better and he would provide a much better service, yeah? Because if there was no hue and cry, he would have remained on the spell board, and this other board that so desperately needs his qualifications and so desperately needs his expertise would have been deprived, yeah? So thank goodness that there were people who made an issue of it, even though Fali have an issue with those who made an issue of it, right? So a whole unit was disbanded under the very same division for which Trevor James or Terence, whoever the heck his name is, I'm not his godfather and I wasn't invited to the baptism. Division of Quarries. The monitoring and evaluation unit was disbanded. Why? Because the same chief secretary that you just listened to told us that unit was filled out because by political hires. Yes, the last administration hired people who were affiliated with the PNM and put them on that board. But then put them in that unit. And therefore, because they were political hires, we needed to disband that unit and send everybody home, right? All the while during the campaign, they're talking about creating employment and all who need work will get work and all who need jobs will get jobs. But you send home a whole unit of about at least 16 people, indicating that but that is just the beginning, that you are sifting through other departments for which you perceive the basis upon which these people were employed is based on their political affiliation, political hires, right? But it's okay for you now to put not just people who support the PDP, That's one thing. Political hires, forget that. We're going to put relatives, family members of secretaries, no less, to serve on these boards. And that's okay. That's okay. And that's justified. Let me pull up the definition here of nepotism for Fali, since he seems to have a problem with it. The practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives, especially by giving them jobs. Relatives, Fali. Relatives. That's what nepotism says. You want me to get a next definition for you? Let me get another one, Fali. Let me get it here because, right. Nepotism. Let's get it here. That is the transformational leader. That's the transformation that they have brought to the THA. Patronage bestowed or favoritism shown on the basis of family relationship, as in business and politics, Fali. That is the definition of nepotism, Fali. So when you come and tell us unashamedly that going forward in the future, the policy is that you will see relatives, more relatives of secretaries, yes, not just officials, secretaries serving on boards. They will not be serving on the board for which reports to their relative. they will not be serving on boards which fall under the direct supervision of their relative. Or in other words, for which their relative is the line secretary. But it's perfectly okay for them to serve in others. But yet still, UNC was running them out the other day. They have an issue with Newman George, serving on the board of Paria, and I think HDC and somewhere else. Because why? His wife is the Speaker of the House. As if Bridget Anizette George has any say in the appointment of her husband to any of these boards, right? As far as I know, Newman George isn't related to anybody in the cabinet. There's no relative thing, right? He's a supporter of the PNM. And as Farley just told you, what happens is that what these boards are an extension of the executive. And therefore you want to appoint people who would be carrying out the mandate of the cabinet. Not putting people there who have issues, who are against the party in power and who would look to sabotage, right? But no relatives. But they were up in arms. Oh, the government borrowing money from a company for which Stuart Young's brother is the CEO. Stuart Young's brother don't own the company. The money doesn't belong to Stuart Young's brother or Stuart Young's family. The man just serving there as the CEO. And they have a problem with that. Oh, they're borrowing money from this company because it's Stuart Young's brother and all kind of nonsense. But they're quiet now. Where one man, Winford James, who is the brother of the line secretary, is appointed to a board that reports to his brother. UNC had nothing to say about that. No criticism whatsoever of what's taking place in Tobago, because apparently Kamla Persad-Bissessar has forgotten that she's the opposition leader of Trinidad and Tobago, not the opposition leader of Trinidad. Whatever is her personal views and her party's views with respect to contesting elections in Tobago, because she's of the view that a party that has its roots and that is entrenched in Trinidad ought not to be interfering in the affairs of Tobago, then you're not a national party. Stop calling yourself that. That is your personal issue. But the fact of the matter is that the document that you received from the president appointing you leader of the opposition says that you are leader of the opposition of Trinidad and Tobago, right? And it is absolutely reprehensible that you deliberately choose not to comment on things that is happening in Tobago that may be perceived to be inimical to the well-being of the island, simply because you're hoping to curry favor with Watson Duke in the coming election of 2025. Simply because you like what Watson doing now, that he is going around into constituencies and districts that are held by the PNM, looking to split votes so that the UNC could get an advantage. So you have nothing to say on what's happening in Tobago, right? Fingers on your lip, your mouth have a zip, you turn a blind eye to it, right? But if you feel that come 2025, the citizens of this country put God out of their collective thoughts, play fast and loose where they vote to put back the UNC, and you get an opportunity to come back into office as Prime Minister. If you feel Watson Duke is going to go easy on you, you have another thought coming, right? But Farley made it perfectly clear. Tell Ole. Alain Ole know up front that there will be more appointments like what happened with Winford. It's just that we would not put it in the division for which the person's relative is the line secretary. We will put them in other divisions, right? So when it happens, hush all your mouth. Don't say nothing. I tell all you up front so you know it coming. So don't bother to make no hue and cry and say anything. Keep all your mouth shut. Keep quiet. We go into the ads. I'll take 5 minutes of your time when we come back. Stay locked.
I know we've been distant lately. Yeah, I know that things been crazy. But here's what I've come to realize. When you really get your high, ooh, you just come alive. And you feel that feeling that's hard to describe. Oh yeah, so baby come down. You are supposed to think till sundown. We go do what we want, anything. Oh, yeah. I taking my own on the road. Show me that way. I just let the music move your body. And you don't have to study nobody, baby. Girl, keep doing what you like. Yeah. But when you really pick you up, it won't let you down. We'll have a real good time when we jam it. Come, baby. We'll be jamming. Come, baby. And when it pick you up, can't get enough. When we did pick you up, can't get enough. Oh, aye. Walk on the ways and jump on the bass one time. Aye. Wind, they go, ah.
Easter at Value Optical, get a super 40% off frames, plus extra savings with the purchase of Supernova or Transition lenses. Enjoy these Easter savings until April 24th at all Value Optical stores. Special conditions apply. And really great buys.
Value Optical, expert care for your eyes.
London, get ready! Pretty British, Brother J, and Ali Berry presents Caribbean Soca Madness Part 1. Drink your water and mind my business.
I go drink water and mind my business.
Saturday, April 16th at the Onyx venue, 27A Queensway, Bletchley, Milton Keynes, featuring the big band in the business, Iwer George.
Yes, and this is me, Iwer George, the big boss in the business. April 16th, Soca Madness Part 1. Yes, I'm going to be in London. I'm coming to shell it.
If I had one wish, mash up the bed. One time, mash up the bed. I shall on the bed. And Skinny Fabulous.
You know what I'm saying, yo, London, April 16th. It's all about the Caribbean Soca Madness Part 1. I will be there.
Baby, I've been blinking bad. All the friends I'm thinking bad.
Music by DTTP, Rigo Suave, the Stage Guard, Selector G, Survival Number 1, and DJ Wins. Tickets available on Eventbrite UK. Early bird tickets, £25 from March 6th. For more info, call Allison at 447588376951. Trini British 447404-050703. And Brother J 447508862718. Saturday, April 16th. Caribbean Soca Madness Part 1. London, it's your turn.
We fast during the period of Lent as a reminder of Jesus' suffering and a sacrifice before his crucifixion. On the third day, he rose from the dead to demonstrate his victory over death. Easter is the beginning of a new season of grace and a time of joy and thanksgiving. Let us now rejoice, remembering that he died for our sins, so we can have everlasting life. Trinidad and Tobago Mortgage Finance Company Limited joins in the celebration of Easter with the Christian community. TGMF, from here to home.
Roger Garraway and his community of creatives present The Royal Exhibit, a 3-day art exhibition, Wednesday, April 27th to Friday, April 29th. Queens Park, Savannah. Daily start time, 11:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Under the auspices of the MP for St. Anne's East, Dr. Nyan Gaspidal. The greatest and finest pieces ever witnessed by local artists in Trinidad and Tobago will be on display for purchase. Come to this wonderful event and walk away owning a masterpiece that can be displayed in your home or passed down for generations to come. Roger Garraway has now made his mark on the international market, breaking barriers and setting the standard high. He and his group of friends will wow you with their out-of-this-world pieces. This event cannot be missed. You can also enjoy the opportunity to browse and purchase fantastic one-of-a-kind handmade art and craft pieces created by local designers from the community. Special guest appearances by Patrice Roberts, Michael Edwards and friends, Iwer George, Roxanne Lane, Tracy, and Joey Rivers and his band. Food and drinks on sale. Secured parking for all vehicles and all COVID-19 protocols will be observed. Special thank you to the Member of Parliament for St. Anne's East, Dr. Nyan Gaspidal.
Tobago, get ready! This Easter Monday, join us for Tobago's newest ultra premium brunch inclusive event, Paradise Isle.
Your money fall on the floor. Bend over, pick it up.
Paradise Isle, this Easter Monday from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eat, drink, lime, party in Lush Haven with an inclusive lineup of top DJs and very special guest performers. Enjoy our assortment of premium cocktails, bottles, and bubblies. Choose and dine from our vast and delectable menu, whether on or off the grill. Paradise Isles is powered by Stage Solutions Limited, Gencare Day Spa, Sinro Manor Villa Spa, Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort, Massey Distributors, Angostura Limited. For more information, check out Paradise Isles on Facebook or Instagram, or call us at 480-8069. This Easter Monday, Pigeon Point Heritage Park, Tobago, Paradise Isle.
If If you're experiencing pain, constipation, headaches, poor blood circulation, high or low blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, swollen or darkened feet, come visit us at Health and Wealth Lifestyle, located at 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria, opposite Eastern Credit Union. We at Health and Wealth Lifestyle offer a wide range of services. Come and experience our new 3D analyzer, which allows you to have a look inside your body. We also provide live blood analysis, iridology, ionic foot detox with foot soak and foot massage, aquatherapy, full body massage, and organic supplements on sale such as Nano Silver, Nano Zinc, Body Light, cold pressed sesame oil, and more. Health and Wealth Lifestyle, located at number 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria, opposite Eastern Credit Union. For more information, call 275-8359 or 288-1108.
Join Nicole Huggins for Health and Wealth Lifestyle every Monday from 9:05 a.m. to 9:55 a.m. right here on the street 919 FM.
Police, good day. Officer Best Price here. Johnny Q Auto Parts Division?
Yes, sir.
I'm here to investigate an assault on batteries.
Excuse me, sir?
Is it true? You have batteries selling for $488?
Yes. Power Master, Optima, Vata, and Megastar batteries.
So I can buy a battery for $488?
Yes, sir. For cars, trucks, and boats. Backed and distributed by Massey Automotive.
Which part?
Right here at Johnny Q Hardware and Auto Parts Division, 15 Arabita Avenue, Woodbrook. And our new Johnny Q Superstore, located at Lowlands Mall off Claude Highway in Tobago. You could call 63 Tools.
All right. Thanks, boss. Nah, man. Granny, do you have $488 to lend, man?
Hi, what's up, TNT? This is Wayne Johnson out of Brooklyn, New York. I always wanted to do something back home, and we're going to be doing our gospel segment on Mondays from 10 p.m. to 12 midnight. That's 10 p.m. to 12 midnight on 91.9 FM. Listen, what I want you to do. Spread the word. Spread the word, TNT. Salvation, full and free. Salvation is for everybody. Mondays from 10 p.m. to 12 midnight. That's 10 p.m. to 12 midnight on 91.9 FM.
Join Pastor Kelvin Heinerine and friends for The Way, The Truth, The Life Radio Ministry, a Church of God ministry, live on the street 919 FM from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. This and every Sunday on the street 919 FM. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father except through me. John chapter 14, verse 6. For further information, contact 686-3845, 349-5178, or 342-7303.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Right. So, thank you for staying locked to the Street 919 FM. Right. So, due to the late start, I really didn't get an opportunity to go into my topic today as I would have liked. But just to say, I was reading some of the comments, and perhaps if some of you are so minded to look at the Post-Executive Council meeting on Facebook, you could just pull it up, Post-Executive Council, THA, and you should see it from the 14th of the 4th. And, I was reading some of the comments of the persons who were viewing. Majority were Tobagonians, some Chinese as well, who see the PDP as being, the PNM's Achilles heel, and they believe that the PDP is that tool that will undo or unseat the PNM. But when I read some of the comments, and I'm amazed how people from Tobago, some people, that is, who for a long time held a higher standard, and say that Tobago politics is not Trinidad politics, is the way that some of these people are blindly defending what they would have crucified the PNM for, right? Fali talking about Hona women who were serving on boards, and why call names now, Fali? Don't just make these bland statements. Call names, please. Give us one example, right? Now we want to come and talk about these things after the fact. That's the unfortunate thing, and people are and the The absolutely absurd reasons that I see people given to defend Fali and to defend the PDP. You all want to change. You all say the PNM was this, that, the other, and the next. There's a change. This is what we consider to be a transformational leader, as my friend from New Jersey would say. But Duke is receiving a full salary every month, but yet still, when he should be doing the work of the THA, he's in Trinidad campaigning. Down on the promenade in San Fernando, talking about, trying to malign Brian Manning, talking to people about if they know what Brian Manning's likes are and what his dislikes are and what is his favorite food and all of that, and if he like women or he likes something else. That is gutter politics. Really? That's the extent that you would go to try and woo support? To go and malign and nasty the waters of your opponent? And you would go in San Fernando East, no less? Really, Watson? That is what you call a transformational leader, right? That's transformational. Yeah. To be questioning people's sexuality and so on. I'm not aware that Brian Manning was ever charged for, any sort of perceived sexual offense. But that's a charge that you are facing right now. But you want to go down in the man constituency and try to malign his name. I mean, this is really, anyway, transformational, eh? Yeah, so as you heard Fali say, in the future, so when they start appointing more boards and you see more relatives of secretaries being appointed, hush all your mouth, right? Don't say nothing. Man told you all up front. And he has his whole team of Spartans behind him who are going to defend to the hilt. And when they can't come up with proper defense, the default is, yeah, well, the PNM do this and the PNM do that, so they should hush them out. 342-008-146-65391. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, boy.
Yes, sir.
Dominic, brother. Happy Easter Sunday, brother.
And to you too.
And let me say happy Easter Sunday to everyone. And, Dominic, first I'm going to say, boy, I just want to say to Dr. Rowley, Dr. Rowley, take care of your health. Your health foremost. You're 70 plus. Take care of your health, because regardless of whatever direction it goes in Trinidad, Trinidadians will be Trinidadians. It's complaint and lies. That culture of complaint and lies and selfishness from the average Trinidadian, that ain't going to go nowhere. So anybody who, will have Dr. Rowley on WhatsApp and stuff, because it's a very trying time for him. So, I want him to take care of himself and focus on your health, Dr. Rowley. Your health first. The Holy Spirit just told me to say that to him now. You understand? Dominic?
Yes, sir.
Fali, you see that? Fali, what they call it, a spoonful of thought with a mouthful of words. That's what it was. Intellectual, direct, intellectual conmanship. That's what I was about. And what you have told me there, that Winford James, he has said people who are loyal and faithful to his party. So Winford James was never independent all the time then. Right? So he revealed that to me. And there's why I say, boy, these fellas, people feel like against education, academic, you see how this what's right on, You see character, these fellas are intellectual hustlers. And they have no credibility. That is what Winford James is. Intellectual hustlers, and there's a lot in Trinidad, and they have no credibility. And it's all about gymnastics and games. Dominic, you get your extra time, the PNM afford any extra time on the station, because our business I was George running here?
Not yet, sir.
Because, they're waiting on the 99th hour in October, because the election is in November, so we're waiting till the, don't worry, man, they wait till October in the 99th hour. You see, PNM have a problem. They don't, a talk show said it years ago. A lot of PNM people and hierarchy don't know who their friends are. They only know their friends are when it's in the darkest hour. And this is the time where you're supposed to know who your friends are. And the whole strategy is, Dominic, it is to weaken the 2 seats in Tobago. As I say, people know the politics. Right now, the government is at its lowest point. Those seats in Tobago is the Fali and Watson. It's about weakening those seats. The finances of the UNC, they have already captured Tobago, but you have to make it look as a decoy that we'll come on the corridor to see what we could pull, so we could let Tobago people feel that we are on a national drive and we are not going to align ourselves with United National Congress. So you're trying to tease Tobago heads while you're trying to pull votes in Trinidad in the urban community. You see, people don't know the politics. So what is going to happen is, because they know, so long as we get the 2 seats away from Tobago people feel, well, hey, Watson Duke going on your own because you're on the corridor now in Trinidad. No. So Watson Duke is going to bargain with the UNC. Watson loves money, as he said. He loves money, and that's the UNC mantra, and that's the philosophy. And so long as they keep him happy, they will remain in governance. And that's what it's all about. So all the campaigning, you see Watson campaigning all over Trinidad. That is just to make Tobago people feel it, you know. Tobago people feel that you're on a national drive, and that boy, if they give me the 2 seats in Tobago, I ain't going to give this to no UNC. That is a thief head. And I want to end to say, Dominic, let them go long. They have already done it. They've done it already in 95. Tobago people done it already. They see what they get in every time Farley and any of the secretaries is on TV. They're always auditioning in this kind of never-see-come-see way. Always auditioning and talking in this proper Queen's English and touching up the head and the eyes and all. All that is all, you know, this never-see-come-see attitude. I will end to say, PNM has to consolidate, and I'm waiting to see how long it will take for you to get a little extra more time, because our business I was George running here, and I want to see how long they will take. Go long, PNM, man, and take Watson Duke and UNC for granted. People, take care, Dominic.
Thank you. Jenny.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon to all the callers and listeners on 90.9 FM, and happy Easter Sunday to everybody, and I hope you enjoy today and tomorrow and be safe. Dominic, I'm sad. I'm happy that Farley spineless Chavez Agustin is no longer teaching our children directly, because if he doesn't understand the meaning of nepotism, it doesn't augur well for him. But I'm sad because even at the level that he sits, he still will have some influence based on whatever policies they put in place in Tobago. What he has done is rubber stamp nepotism. He has made it okay. He has put his fingerprint on it, his footprint, everything on it. And I'm saying he sounded like a political neophyte that he really is. And I'm christening him Consummate Dons Jr., because the senior is Watson Solomon Jr. He had a splice in the part about Spartan, because he wanted his daddy to know, hey, I'm talking about here, you know, so it's sounding good. So when his daddy, who in Trinidad, walking up and down, hear that word Spartan, he tell himself, yes, my son have it locked in the teaching. That is all, this thing was all flop. His whole speech was flop. If you pull away a lot of those things, he could have finished that in about, wrap up that whole speech in about 3 minutes flat. And this one now is for Clive Abdullah, Watson Solomon Jr., that consummate Don Sr., and all those who think like him in wanting to march against the rise in the oil price and all that. In Sri Lanka, right now Sri Lanka is on the brink of bankruptcy. They're in a total mess. They can't service none of the debt. They're looking to go back to the IMF. They can't service even the loan that India would have loaned them. And they have refineries also. But last year, the largest single refinery, the Sapagungas Kanda refinery, they had to close it down because, you know what, there was a problem with the forex and foreign exchange and all that. And that created another crisis that has stemmed over into this. And they also mentioned COVID-19 and the challenges they had. So all them political prostitutes, mayhem makers, in prostitutes too, all of them unpatriotic, traitors and quizzling and carbuncles, and the Marad said deadbeats, Bronx, blood bandits, pimps and prostitutes, as I said before. This is an international thing, and Dr. K. Christopher Rowley, whether you like him, you hate him, you like the PNM or not, has been able to steer this country with his cabinet in a safe space, because during the pandemic, public officers sit home in their house they wasn't working and going and push the card when the man come and get money. You know who was out there working? The essential workers, the medical essential, HR department and accounts department. We were getting paid. And things so bad, I want to say Trinidad so bad, I want to shut down and lock down. The green light has been given to the CPO to settle outstanding negotiation that the consummate Don Senior wasn't even able to settle for public officers for 6 years after he sold you out in 2013. So things so bad in this country, Mr. Abdullah, and who think like you, that public officers could get their monies owed to them before the end of the year because we start that. So is that a country on the brink of collapse, or they too wicked, or they too unpatriotic, or they don't love this country? And anybody standing up and walking behind Watson Solomon Chuk and giving him that type of support, one or two things. They really don't understand Watson Solomon Chuk, or they're very unpatriotic and they don't want nothing good for this country, Trinidad and Tobago. Dominic, you reach home.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, my brother. Good afternoon. I want to say the opportunity to wish everybody a blessed Easter season, Easter Sunday, Easter Monday tomorrow.
Yes.
And Sister Jenny couldn't say it better. Yes, and Sister Jenny could not have said it better. These people in this country, if they cannot learn from 2010 to 2015 and they go back and do the same thing again in 2025, they just always say, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. Right? And clearly, people who currently are costing the Prime Minister right now is who cannot get what they want from Dr. Rowley. That's why I always say, Dr. Rowley is a man that wants the citizenry in this country to be self-sufficient and independent and done away with this gimme mentality. And when once they can't get it, you want to cost the Prime Minister. You understand? This is why all these hustlers like Twiggy and the all of them who jump in the bandwagon behind Watson Duke because they feel when they support Watson Duke now, they will get what they want. Just what you do Tobago. Right now, Watson Duke and Father sold Tobago a dream, and Tobago bought it wholesale. Right now, they know what they do. Right now, Tobago is right now costing, and they vex with this administration they have right now in THA. You understand? So is that the same thing they want to come in Trinidad? Nobody is saying everybody have the right to vote whoever they please, you know. But at the end of the day, when you're choosing a government, you have to choose a government that will represent the welfare and social economic of our country, and not just to go in there and for their friends, family, and finances, right? But I'm gonna get into the picture with the Prime Minister and Madam Sukuya, with she nice moment suit showing it today. Go to meet the Prime Minister.
No, I didn't.
Yes, I was telling for you. She went to go Madam Sukuya, swim across the nylon pool to meet the Prime Minister. Yes. Anyway, Dominic, I love for listening.
Thank you, Eric. Oh my gosh.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Cooking with Dominic, right?
Correct.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Just remember, we are Dominic take out the Karen with us because he's Trinidad and Tobago. We are all both Trinidadians and Tobagonians, right? And let me get it straight. We have one country. Unless my can say Trinidad alone, and we can't look off Tobagonian, man. We are Trinidadian. Trinidad is our land. Trinidad is my land, and Tobagonian is our land, brother. Hey, Dominic, Ogo, a pleasant Easter to you and your family. So enjoy everything that Trinidad has to offer. So I'm a caller. I'm a listener of the street, man. Proud to be that street. And good afternoon to Professor Robert, whoever the son, right? Dominic, the politics, I too good in the politics, but I cannot see very well. I call you from back forward, and then I found out from back forward. And have a good evening. I love you. I go on there.
Thank you, sir. Same to you and yours. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Dominic.
Hi, afternoon.
You see that caller before this last one?
Yes.
That fella just, he just cracked me up, you know. I like how he was saying, Madam Sukuri. I love to hear him. Anyhow, you see, Fally and Watson, two peas in a pod. They have to give all the other parties make up the PDP, like TOP, anyhow, forwards, all those people who make up the PDP. Everybody has to get their slice of the pie. Because you are paying Mr. Ashford as an advisor. There's a young lady now who is the head of the Tobago Tourism Agency Board, by the name of Alicia Edwards. I don't know his wife, but it is alleged that woman is his wife, Mr. Jack's wife, because she's also the general secretary for TOP.
Right.
So you have to give everybody that piece of pie. You have Mr. James, Mr. Winford James, they have to put him somewhere because he has been down on the PNM with his talking about independent political analysis. He's not independent about that, man. Right? So they have to give everybody a slice of the pie. So when you hear him talking about, don't be, if you see other people bringing their family to work, don't say nothing. That is what they intend to do because it's already happening. So you're sending on people who have qualifications for the job that they have and bringing these people who don't have a clue of what the hell they're going inside there to do. But that is the reason why all these people who voted PDP now, they're coming now to talk about their regret and their regret. And I want to tell a former caller before, Tobagonians do not vote. They see how they vote for general election. That's not how they vote for THA. In THA, you get between 20 to 40% of the people coming out to vote. But it's coming to general election, I think almost up to 95% of the people come out to vote. So today, people know how they vote. They don't take on the THA as much as how they take on general election. So that dream that Watson and them have, they would lose some of their own support in Tobago because their own PDP people who they send home from the job. Everybody now saying, if I coulda, woulda, shoulda. But they already paid the price for it. Have a blessed day, Dominic.
Thank you. You too. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, Dominic, good afternoon.
Central.
2010-2015, manageable food prices. Cost of living manageable. Crime at an all-time low.
Right.
Population was happy. Local election come in. Tunapuna Regional Corporation, UNC. San Fernando Borough Corporation, UNC. Thanks to the PDP. Have a good day, Dominic.
You too, Central. But yet, in spite of all those good things that you call out there, in 3 years, from 2010 to 2013, the UNC got the licking of the lifetime. They got their backside handed to them by the PNM in just 3 years in office. You forget that? So if everything was so great, Central, why did they lose? They went from, 11 local government corporations down to what, 6? Huh? And then in the general election, Central, if everything was so great, low food prices, crime at an all-time low, why did they lose the election, Central? Answer me that now. If everything was so hunky-dory and we were living in a veritable utopia, why did they get their backside handed to them in 2 elections? Why is it that Kamala Persad-Bissessar is the most losing political leader in this country if everything was so great under her, Central? You see, all I don't think about these things. Anyway. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, caller.
Yeah, good afternoon. Listen, I'm calling from Tobago here.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
And, I didn't never heard so much more rubbish than what I just heard a little while ago.
Right.
In fact, there are people...
Hold on. You heard the rubbish from who? From me, or you heard the rubbish from what I played with Fally?
The lady who called.
Okay.
Before the last caller.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
In fact, let me tell you, the PDP has even grown even more. Because there are many people who were in the PNM that has left. Even more. More support. And I don't know what they're talking about, how much people gone home and how much people regret. What is she really talking about? see on the ground in Tobago, he can't be real at all. Listen, the thing is that PDP have always said that the people who are willing, the competent and the willing who are ready to serve in Tobago, to transform Tobago.
Right.
Because Tobago is in a mess. Tobago has actually nothing more than being, as I said before, a welfare state. That's what Tobago is. Tobago is a welfare state, handed a welfare check every year from Port of Steel, when it should be self-reliant and contributing to the treasury. It is a beggar on the treasury. And so the people in Tobago has sought to transform the island by doing things a lot different from where we are going. If we are going the same way, God knows where we would have been heading. And so that is what is taking place in Tobago now. People realize when you look around the Caribbean, when you look around the world, and you look around, Tobago is actually nowhere and is way behind lagging. And that is what is taking place. You know, the Prime Minister would have come here and he made one of the worst speeches that contributed to the massive victory of the PDP when he made some insulting remarks about transform who and transform what. Tobago needs to be transformed. Anybody who otherwise is not being realistic or living on Mars. Look at Tobago. What does Tobago have? Right? More than living on a handout. So, you know, I'm saying let people wake up and realize we have to do things a lot differently. We have to start to dream big, right? And take bold steps in order to transform this island here. So that we can keep the population whole, because 90% or more of graduate students every year leave Tobago. That's why the population is stagnant growth. Yeah? This is what is happening. Look how much Tobago are living in Trinidad, more in Trinidad than what living in Tobago at this point in time. Why? Because of opportunities are not there. There's nothing to keep them when they are qualified. So, you know,
Kola, hold on. Let me ask you. Let me engage you. What is the role of Watson Duke? Watson Duke is receiving a full salary every month, but is campaigning in Trinidad. And when he should be in Tobago, what contribution has he made?
Very soon.
No, don't tell me very soon. Watson Duke has been...
in 3 months.
No. In 3 months, he has received salary and he has not been working. I am seeing Watson Duke sitting down behind a desk making TikTok videos and insulting Dr. Rowley, and he's receiving a full salary. Explain that to me.
Listen, when anybody win in the PHA, all our appointed secretaries, many of them are not secretaries. They are secretaries that fill
secretaries and assistant secretaries. That is how it was under the last administration. What is Watson Duke's function? What is he receiving a salary for? Just to have a title? Because they can't tell me you are taking money from the THA to pay this man a salary every month, and he is up and down in Trinidad, going down to San Fernando to ill speak the MP when that's what he's being paid for.
When an MP wins in Parliament, wins the government in Parliament, what does he do? Is everyone become a minister? Or there are people who are MPs representing their constituents?
Is Watson Duke a part of the Executive Council, yes or no?
He is the Deputy Chief Secretary.
Correct, right. So he's the second in command. Am I correct?
Right. Yeah.
All right.
And there's a man in charge right now, so he's doing there representing his constituents. That is what he's doing at this point in time.
Okay,
because
so
there's a Chief Secretary in place.
Okay, so then why was he given the title of Deputy Chief Secretary, which carries a higher salary than the other secretaries, and he's doing nothing in that position as Deputy Chief Secretary? Wouldn't it have made more sense to put somebody else as Deputy and just leave Watson Duke as a normal whatever?
No. We don't have to do things the same way that has been done before.
Right, and you see, and that is the problem. That is the problem. You see, because Joel Jack, as the Deputy Chief Secretary, had a division. He was Division of Finance, and he was doing his work. Watson Duke, what contribution has he made in the last 3 months to this transformation that you're talking about taking place in Tobago? What has he done?
So you haven't seen how he's representing his constituents?
Haven't seen what?
Have you seen how he's representing his constituents and the plans for the area where his constituents live?
Okay.
I'm sure you've seen some of that.
All right.
If you don't see that, people would have been blind if they don't see that.
And for that, he deserves, so to do the job that he was voted for, to be a representative, he deserves to get a title that gives him a higher salary, right? So what about, now you tell me this, so what about those other persons who have divisions, who are secretaries, who are serving as secretaries, and who also servicing their constituents and are earning less salary than Watson Duke, who doesn't have a division? But you're telling me he's deserving of getting a higher salary. These other people doing more work than him, running a division and also representing their districts, and they're making less money than him, and you justifying that.
I'm telling you, very soon you will see all that has to be done with the deputy chief secretary.
Really? So what is he doing? What is he doing in San Fernando? What is he doing
very soon?
What is he doing in San Fernando?
What
is he doing in San Fernando?
What I've seen is that the people in Trinidad has called for the party to be in Trinidad, and that's what I'm seeing. How many people in Trinidad have called for some level of representation,
right?
And they're formulating something down in Trinidad.
So why isn't Farley in Trinidad? Why isn't any of the other secretaries in Trinidad campaigning? Why is it Watson Duke alone?
Watson Duke is the political leader of the team.
Farley is the deputy political leader, and Faith B. Israel is a deputy.
They have called for him to set up something in Trinidad.
Yeah, but this is the same Trinidad. This is the same Trinidad that Watson Duke just a few months ago told us he didn't want nothing to do with. This is the same Trinidad that he wanted to secede from. You all keep forgetting that. But all of a sudden he changed his mind. Ain't?
I'm not even telling to change his mind, you know that?
Okay.
You know I'm not even telling to change his mind?
Okay. All right. So only that is something that is reserved for Watson Duke. But Keith Rowley can't change his mind, ain't? No, he can't.
I say a man is entitled to change his mind.
Okay.
Full stop. A man. Any man.
A man. Well, all right. Well, read what the Bible says about a man who is unstable, right? See what it says.
What's unstable? Wait,
right.
You haven't changed your mind on any... Have you ever changed your mind on anything?
Caller, thank you. We have other people on the line. Thank you very much. Thank you.
If you can't answer that.
No, you see, you're playing smart with foolishness, right? You're playing smart with foolishness because this is the same man who just a few months ago was telling us he's not interested in this chief secretary stupidness. They want their own judiciary and they own this and they own that, right? This is not something simple, a simple decision that you're making and you decide to change your mind. This is something significant. This man was stirring up in the minds of Tobagonians what Tobago could look like if we succeed. He was talking about prime ministership for Tobago, two separate islands, right? But now you want to come and tell me, a man is entitled to change his mind. It's amazing to me the things that you all come up with saying to defend this nonsense, you know. But all you want to change. And you want to change. Has he changed? What big change has taken place in Tobago? Tell me now. A lot of the projects that they're working on and stuff that was started under the last administration. But now Farley want to come and tell you, well, put in Winford James on a board that is under his brother. That is not nepotism. Well, maybe you could go and pull up the definition of nepotism for me and give me the definition according to Farley. Right? Find me that definition, please. Let me see who else we have on the line. Anyway, hello, good afternoon.
Uncle Dominic.
Yes, sir.
You really have patience, you know. You know, look at listening on the phone because I don't want to cut off, you know.
Yeah.
You see that guy, I always listen to him. I wonder if and when he was born in Tobago. Because all the nonsense, when I came in from church, I was listening to Farley. And I said, what nonsense this man is telling the people here? And I don't want to base on that. So he come to criticize the lady who talked before. But exactly what the lady said, that is what is happening. We are not stupid. Why they feel is they alone know everything. Hear what Farley says. They're going to be taking people who is supporting their party in order for let me say it in this way. What was their manifesto or what they think that the people who they're going to be taking on their side must be PDP because that is what they want to have happen. Just like that one that just talked because while there you were talking about. Because they are the ones that have all the plans for Tobago and know what Tobago should be. Mr. James moved from his brother and Farley say he considered this and he considered that. Farley should have known that in the first thing. Why he didn't put Mr. James with him before?
Exactly.
Since he know Mr. James did transform this and transform that. When the people realized that it's his brother, put him on his own board to teach him how to work, then Farley said he was going to give the report in 1 week. It took 2 weeks. It's last week Thursday and it was to be since the Friday before Farley spoke and come now talking a whole bag of rubbish and talking about who have found a woman and all sorts of things, and you go to see other family members on other boards. Because that is exactly what they're doing. Because I've been hearing about Ashwa Jack and Vanilla Toppin and all these people. and they are facilitating them because they are the ones who always oppose the PNM in Tobago. And Mr. Winford James is one of the persons. I never look at him as an independent analyst. I always look at him because he's somebody that I know. I know his brothers and them, and I know he was not independent. He's always opposite, and he has something against Dr. Rowley, as I see. Two of them went bishop together. I don't know what happened. Some kind of young thing happened between them. And it is so foolish that Mr. Fari is going to come to tell the people. You know why? Because the Tobagonians here, they need to be educated more. Just like Wasinju being in Trinidad and you're trying to question the guy and he cannot give you an answer. He's here talking all foolishness that man could change and man could change and man could change. It is good. They could only change in the PDP. But when the PNM is there, they can't change. And the PNM people can't bring their family members and all these sorts of things. That is nepotism. PNM wicked. Chief Rowley bad. And all sorts of things that they've been saying about Keith Rowley as a born to Begonian. Who trying to make... You think Keith Rowley couldn't buy a house in Miami as 20 people would have been doing? Why he have his goats and his sheep and all his family people here? Why the fact that they accuse him for buying? Why he buys in Tobago? For the PDP and them to come and crash him? Or to run him to ground? Or to run him out from Tobago? It's because he's a patriotic Togonian. He loves this country and whatever. But they have a grouse, and nothing is happening. What he's saying, what he's doing in Roxborough, Uncle Dominic, nothing is happening in Tobago. There are projects who were here, shut down for 1 week after the election. None of those projects is back up and running. They say, but they're doing forensic audit. Rubbish. Because 4 months people who were working on the project, not working anymore. So this gentleman, I listened to him so many times. I'd really like to see him talking rubbish. They feel that everybody is fool. They want something. He's looking for, you know. He's looking for something, and most of them who behave like that is something they are looking for. Because, as the Prime Minister said, most of them had opportunities and they never grasped at it. Is now they want something to come to them. And I know many of them even in my village here. Uncle Dominic, let me leave it there. I don't want to get vexed to talk about them, for them to say, I bad talking them. Let them fix up. Let them go right ahead. I'm a pensioner. Mr. Winford James is up in his 70s. He's a pensioner too. He shouldn't even be on no board to be getting easy money. Somebody else so he's the only qualified person in Tobago? The speaks that give Mr. Winford James is the only qualified person in Tobago. I saw he talking about people who have degree and migrating. So why don't I take somebody who is younger and more vibrant than Mr. Winford James? Mr. Winford James, if I watch him on the TV, he could hardly talk. He could hardly talk on the TV. Come on, you all behave yourselves in this place here and do the right things.
Thank you, Monson George. You know, interestingly, the caller before Monson George, the guy from Tobago, he was one of the persons who was calling in to defend when it is that, they disbanded the unit in the division of quarries. And one of his reasons for supporting was, of course, the issue of political hires. So tell me, what is it that Fali is doing now? And not just, you don't need to, are we going beyond just political support, eh? We're taking it now to family. The quintessential definition of nepotism. And Fali is telling you, well, it would be okay, and this is policy going forward, right? That we will hire family members, relatives of secretaries, and put them on boards. We just wouldn't put them on boards that fall under the secretary, under the division for which their relative is the line secretary. So that makes it okay, right? Competence is what it's about. He talked about the spell, the Studley Park Enterprises Limited, and from all Guyana and other places where they want to get material from. But where was Fali the other day when there was the collapse down on the creek, that highway to Point 14? And remember what Rudal Munilal said? That they brought inferior material from Tobago and put it there. And that is why it collapsed. Where was Fali to defend the quality of the material at Studley Park? When Munilal was saying that that he was lambasting the quality of material that come in from Tobago, the same material that you're talking about now, that is going to be the backbone of the economy of Tobago. You have a man who sits in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago telling you that the quality of that material is inferior, right? So if the people from Guyana and whoever else want to get that material, hearing that and say, well, hey, if Munilal, if a member of Parliament saying it inferior, we don't want that. Did Farley come out and condemn that? Did Watson condemn that? And to the caller, let me tell you something. Watson, Duke, and all the other representatives who were elected, they get paid separately for representing their constituency. Yeah? They get paid for that. I want to know the salary that Watson receives for his position as Deputy Chief Secretary. What is he doing to earn that? And coming to Trinidad to be walking the streets of Barataria and San Fernando is not what he's being paid for, right? He is campaigning on time that he's supposed to be doing THA work. So miss me with that BS. You see who else I have here. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah. There's no only nepotism going on, but dictatorship going on too.
Yes.
And you see, that was a boxing match, Dominic. You beat him in every single round and you knocked him out about 3 times in the last round, politically. Because now, he still cannot answer why this man taking with taxpayers' money, boy, but campaigning during that time.
Yes.
You know why? Well, first, I didn't know the PDP was a combination of several parties. So it's only natural, by their own track record, that they had to do something for the boys. And doing something for the boys is more in your interest than the national interest.
Yes.
Right? So the nepotism was taking place there now. Right? Nobody should study it. Because you're sending home people, but you're finding millions to do renovation where you have to live. You understand? And your excuse is that who work under the former THA had to be PNM. So you ain't really interested in whether they were professionals, but you have to get rid of them. Right? It's a conflict of interest in everything. Because the same thing Gigi did. He put a lot of friends and relatives in some of the most sensitive, some handling classified, confidential information in the intelligence department of the police service. And it's the same thing they're doing here now. Because George Reeks, Aaron McLeod was a protege of George Reeks. Roger is a protege of Aaron McLeod. And we all see what kind of political pants that is be wearing. All of them. You know what I'm telling you? And they're carrying out the same petition. But, sorry about that. I just was watching out today in the dummy.
It happens.
Hello? Yeah, we're coming back to, yeah, I get back here now. Right? Is a proper thing going on right now, because to me, I ain't calling no name, but the chief secretary is not the chief secretary. And the man who is in charge of the PSA is not the one in charge of the PSA. That's why the man who was supposed to be the chief secretary and was the PSA head don't want none of them posts, because he wants to manipulate them 2 seats. You understand? So when we see in a face, is who advising the face for we see him. And somehow I feel sooner or later, somebody going and realize, well, wait, is I had this position, whether it's you help me to get. You understand? So take your time, because I find you kind of doing certain things too, you understand? And that is very back and all that stuff. That I know none of them never, do nothing for the benefit of this country. It was fighting, inside fighting right through. You understand? And finally, I just want to say that I really see I know about 200 Guyanese, and me seeing all of them going back Guyana. Right? It's that's so bad and Guyana again so nice. How come them Guyanese and closing up shop and selling the maxi and the small business and going back to Guyana? Huh? And you see a friend from New Jersey? Yes. I always wanted to tell you this, I always forget. For a professor I find his pronunciation of certain words is very, to put it, I can't tell you what I call when he's saying transformational, he normally says transfla, F-L-A, like if it's flavor he's saying, transformational. You understand? So take your time. It's transformational. and in closing, I just want to say I only seen Penelope Beckles and Sampa Kojo working. I ain't seen none of them other people work, them will be working, you know. But I tell you the time when I call in and you wasn't hearing me clearly.
Yes.
If I was a politician in this time, every single constituent in my constituency had to know me personally, you know.
Yes.
I find them here, you know. If you live in the gully, if I had to take 2 years to meet every single constituent in the constituency, I had to do it, and that's what the PNM have to do, because you see the challenge again, you know. They have to show the people that they're really working in it. Because from what I hear, people giving people $300 in Jersey to support them and work with them, and you know, all them kind of things up against it. And I believe Mr. Faris Al-Rawi, in closing, is put in the local government ministry, right? He wasn't demoted, he wasn't fired. He has a track record, because right now in San Fernando, they're doing things what always promising for the last 30 years. And Skinner Park is being refurbished, and the waterfront finally seems to be put into gear. So I think the Prime Minister made a very astute decision, and we as the people just have to observe and see what really happening as time goes on. Thanks very much, Dominic.
Thank you, sir. Brian.
Good afternoon, sir.
Greetings.
Happy New Year to you and your family.
To you.
It was long. Happy Easter, Dominic, and I hope your sister is doing a lot better.
Yeah.
You know,
yes.
And best wishes and Easter greetings to all listeners and callers of 91.9, Titans of Democracy. Dominic, we buy it, so we get it. Right? Everybody, when Sharon was talking about this every single day for a whole year. For a whole year, she was warning Tobagonians, all you don't make that mistake, or you're begging, all you don't make that mistake. For a whole year, every time you put on the radio or your TV, you could see Miss Felix talking about this. You spoke about this too. The only thing all you didn't do was go to Tobago, and all you say all you was going to do. That is the only thing, what all you want Tobagonians. And they bought it wholesale, so there it is. You know, and the man has admitted, and he even said that it wasn't Trevor who put Winford there, you know. He admitted, the chief secretary said that I put him there. He admitted it. And he took him out and he put him somewhere. That was why it was a lengthy stay, because they were trying to determine where they could put him. They found somewhere to put him. And he has admitted, he said, listen, in future when we put our people there, you don't get no horrors, we'll just make sure we don't put them, as you rightly say, in ministry, in divisions that where they have family. And that's the end of that. So in future, whenever they put somebody there, whether they qualified or not, it's irrelevant, you know. They're putting them there. Good, and as that waste of time for who call you and spend 15 minutes of the time, wasted 50 minutes of our time and your time. You don't have to be qualified. Just put somebody, that's it. And everything will be okay. And let Watson get paid and be in Trinidad doing nothing. You understand? Canvassing and as if there's an election in the next 2-3 weeks or 2 months. You could imagine if PNM was doing that. You could imagine if the PNM members for Tobago, for the constituencies in Tobago, was in Tobago doing that right now. You could imagine the uproar and the euphoria to be hearing today, from the UNC and others. Listen to me, we could see it, you know, all, not a soul from the COP to the UNC to Edward Alexander, Philip Edward Alexander, to anybody. Nobody has come out and said, hey, something wrong here. What this man doing? Is he still being paid? What he doing in Trinidad? He's supposed to be doing his work in Tobago. He has an office there. What is he doing? You hear anybody come out and say anything? But it is what it is. So we just have to work with it because nothing we could do. We can't go to court like them. We have court money to waste. You understand? And we have to take it because that is what he's doing. And it will continue so. And at the end of the day, they will get rid of all who they're supposed to get rid of. So by the time Farley is ready to pay his ex gratia payment in September, he will have his people there. And those who were there before will get nothing. They were warned. They were warned. Farley has said it. He can't say he has said it. He has said it. He will pay it by September. Right? And right now he's cleaning house because some divisions are non-entities. And as Mount St. George said, nothing going on. So there you have it, sir. Well done. So Begonians, all the young boys who line in and get a little $300, I hope police still have it. I hope police still have it because that is all you're going to get. That and a jersey and a glass of water or punching, like the case might be. Have a good day, sir.
You too, sir. Thank you. Hello, good afternoon.
Dominic Roman, a pleasant good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon,
happy
sir.
Easter to you, your family, and all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. You know, Dominic Roman, I hate to be correct, you know. When I stated that there's two transformational leaders in Trinidad and Tobago, Watson Solomon Duke, leader of the PDP, who took a party from 2 to 6 to 14, and Farley Chavez Augustine, who took black people off the plantation in Tobago, and we have it otherwise in Trinidad. You see, when you're a transformational leader, you make decisions like what Farley Chavez Augustine made, right? To show people that one of the most qualified people in Tobago, Dr. Winford James, a man who is fully qualified, fully qualified. You cannot speak anything about his qualifications. Fully qualified to serve any board in Tobago. But Dominic, I want to ask you a quick question. Dominic, didn't you say at one point in time that you got on a board because of your friends with Jack Warner and you are friends with the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago? I'm asking a question. Dominic Roman, didn't you say that? So Dominic, if you could be appointed to a board because of your friendship with Mr. Austin Jack Warner and your friendship with the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, what is the difference to Dr. Winford James being appointed to a board by the Chief Secretary and his brother is in charge of that board?
Am I related?
Dominic,
am I related to Jack Warner or Keith Christopher Rowley?
But Dominic, you read the definition. It says friends.
No, I said family. If you want me to read it for you again, I will.
You also
cronyism is friends, sir. Cronyism is friends.
But
Nepotism
Dominic,
is family.
Nepotism, Dominic, I also looked at the definition as well. It includes friends.
Okay.
It includes friends, Dominic.
Okay.
And you stated, Dominic, that you are friend of... You stated that. I didn't state that. And I'm not saying anything that you didn't say. Right? But Dominic, let me quickly end. All right? Am I still there?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. You see, Dominic, we have to be honest sometimes, you know. We have to be honest. Dr. Winford James is fully qualified. Fully qualified to sit on any board. There's 60,000 people in a population in Tobago.
Right.
What do you want them to do? Sit down on the sidelines? And I'm not coming here to say, well, PNM did this and PNM did that. I'm not in that. I leave that for those who go along, get along PNM gang to always be comparing what happened in the past. I'm not looking to compare. I'm going strictly on the man's qualification and that Farley Chavez Augustine, a transformational leader, decide, all right, folks, there is something happening here. It doesn't look right. Let me fix it. That's what transformational leaders do. They fix things rather than appoint a committee to do this. Appoint a committee to do that. Always appointing.
All right, we had to leave it there, Wall Street.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Bye-bye.
Out of time, but not out of things to say, folks. Please join Sharon and Bruce in the morning for Titans of Democracy. And God's willing, I will be back with you on Tuesday.